On.
Hi.
Yes. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rez Hockey. This is episode 108, 108. My name is Trevor, and with me as always is as you can see his name on the screen right there in the bottom left-hand corner for those who are watching us on YouTube, Bushrat. Bushy Bush. What's up, Bush?
Not much, Trev. How are you today? It's
I'm doing okay. I've been sick.
How was the
Um,
weather out there in Shoal Lake today?
It's freezing,
It's
man.
cold.
It's windy.
Yeah.
Like that freaking groundhog must be on Chief and Council just lying to us. See, I'll see what I could do, the
Let's
damn
see what I
groundhog probably said when it saw
probably
its
went
shadow.
probably has meetings in Vegas and
Yeah, running
conferences.
on Indian time, damn groundhog. That's such a dumb thing.
I know.
As if, oh my God. We should just do it res style, just put a dog in a kennel and let him out in the kennel and
There's
see
that.
if it's shadow. It's a short spring this year, guys. We should do that next year. Write that
Okay.
down. We'll try with my dog.
Yeah.
If my dog goes out and runs away, it's a short spring. But if it goes back in
Yeah.
its kennel, it's another 6 more weeks of Christmas. 6 more weeks of winter. What
Look at
is
this
that?
sexy. Look at this sexy thing.
What is that?
It's my drone. Oh wait.
Oh, yeah, I can see it now.
Ah.
Let's try it out this weekend.
If it's nice enough, no, I won't. Because the battery, if it's cold, like mine
Oh, the
is,
battery goes fast.
the battery drains it's supposed to be around a 25-minute flight time, but we took it on the ice road when I first got it. I bet you I had about
Oh
maybe
yeah.
5 minutes tops, if
I
that.
bet you when you fly your drone, you go like Top Gun style. You wear your bomber jacket, the big
My
Tom Cruise
shades.
glasses.
Yeah.
Just listening to a Danger Zone.
That guitar solo,
Yeah.
that intro.
Yeah, guys, welcome to this
Oh
week's
yeah, sorry.
episode.
Yeah, we have a show.
Yeah. Anyways, back to our no normal programming. Rez Hockey, we are recording on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe. We are recording our show on Treaty 3 territory, so we just always want to give land acknowledgement to where we are and where we live. So thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, my it's this time of year where I have bad asthma when I get so my asthma, my lungs get inflamed, so I cough for like a good week nonstop. So it's day 4 of me coughing. So I've been drinking a lot of water, taking my puffers. I got like 3 puffers, and
Oh,
I drink like iced tea just to get some sugar in my throat. So yeah, it's been a crazy day, couple days. So yeah, but other than that, I'm okay. Leafs lost tonight. Oilers are up 1-0 over Montreal. Oh, they should
yeah.
be able to win. You get Montreal crying out loud. Um, we the hockey world, Turtle Island received some unfortunate news today. Um, Former National Hockey League player Chris Simon from Wiki, from Wawa, Ontario, passed away today. Chris was a really good hockey player. He was a former Quebec Nordiques, Colorado Avalanche, Washington Capitals, Rangers, Flames, Islanders, and Wild. Excuse me. And he played a number of years in Russia. So unfortunately, Chris passed away, and Chris was 52 years old. So we just wanted to send our thoughts and prayers to the
Yeah.
Simon family, community of Wawa, and everyone, all his former teammates, friends, and everyone in Turtle Island. Like Chris was, he was very, what's the word? He was very. A lot of kids looked up to him in the 90s.
Yeah,
Um,
he's revered.
yes, he was inspirational because
Yeah.
um he won a Stanley Cup. He had some problems playing junior when he was in Ottawa. But he played for Ted Nolan and Sault Ste. Marie, and he really changed his life around. And um had a really good career. He scored 29 goals one year and with Washington. He I think that's the year they made the Stanley Cup Finals. Like it was him, Chris, Dale Hunter, and Craig Berube on the line. That's not a scary line. That's probably like 10,000 minutes in
Yeah.
penalties over their career.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris was then he used to do his hockey schools when he was younger. I know his aunt. His aunt was friends with my parents. His aunt's name was Donna Simon. And Chris used to send her up sticks. She lived when we lived in Thunder Bay, so I was able to get a nice Bauer stick from Chris. And I remember the other sticks that she got, she would cut them for her son, Dennis. I was like,
nice.
why would you cut Chris Simon's sticks for your little kid? And he must have been like 3 or 4 years old. Like, just a waste. But yeah, I hung around with Chris a couple times. I hung out with him in Calgary one time, and we went to this. I guess it was like a restaurant type bar. And it was wing night, and the guy had like 80 wings in one sitting. And he was showing me like how he eats his wings, and it was just crazy. Like he had like it was so the way he would eat them, like holy jeez, who eats 80 wings in one sitting? Being a professional hockey player. But he was a super nice guy, though. People were taking pictures, and that's before we had cell phone, like real good cell phones. But
Oh, okay.
people had cameras and were taking pictures, and he was just always polite and signing stuff. But um, I think that's why I really enjoyed watching him, because he was a fighter. Like he could fight. He was the best. Back in the 90s, he was probably the best heavyweight. In the 90s, when they had like Bob Probert, Ty Domi, and all the like the Stu Gripson, like the fighters,
Yeah.
not like today. And he was one of the best. So, and it's unfortunately that uh Chris passed away today. So it's always sad when a fellow hockey player and a fellow indigenous hockey player passes away. So um but yeah, he left a mark on a lot of the indigenous kids throughout Turtle Island for sure. And um yeah, so I just want to send out our condolences to his children and his partner. So it's been a tough day for sure, and it's
Yeah.
good to see a lot of people on Facebook and social media um talking about Chris and about their favorite memories. So, whoa, my throat was getting dry.
Yeah.
Woo. What was your favorite moment of Mr. Chris Simon?
The cup.
Yeah, like when he
Yeah.
won the cup, he took it back to Wawa and he went fishing with it. Like, how cool is that?
Has been neat. Imagine just your bass fisherman, you're trolling and you go to see a spot and you're like, is that the cup?
Yeah,
No.
right. Eh?
No, it's the sun. Go quit looking around and to pay attention to the lake. And you're like, no. That's the cup. You know,
I
that's
wonder if
something you
he
see every
caught
day in the
any.
lake,
I
right?
wonder if he caught any fish that day and just, oh, I don't have anything to
I don't
put
have
my
a live
fish.
well.
Let's put it in the cup.
Oh, that would be that.
That'd be
That'd be
neat.
like, do you imagine a Gabe Morton pulls up and uh, yeah, okay, go on. You know,
But I know his dad, Johnny too, Johnny Simon. His dad was a big boy like Chris, and he was a good hockey player too. So it's that hockey runs in their bloodline in Wawa. But yeah, I mean, I was just looking at his stats, and he has some high penalty minutes, 225, 250. 250 is his career high though, but who would want to fight a guy who's 6'3", 230 with his long black hair? Like that hair was intimidating back in the day, right?
yeah,
I mean, if you had like long hair, I'd probably be scared of you too. Just look at that big Indian with the long hair. But unfortunately, Chris was a player who played on the edge, and unfortunately, he got some suspensions. Like he stepped on a player's foot, and I think he slashed that Ryan Hallrig. Remember when he slashed him when he was on the Islanders?
Oh no.
No, but yeah, but as part of the game, gave him a nice little two-hander and got suspended. But he played in Russia for 1, 2, 3, 5 years. So, and he told me some crazy stories like on the price of certain cold pops. And I don't know, for some reason I had always just, that's all I remember is just him telling me the story of the cost of cold pops for some reason. But I mean, just to make you think sorry, make you think how good he was. Like he was able to play in the KHL, which is bigger ice. It's more skilled with the Russian players, right?
Mhm.
And he adapted really good over there. Like he scored 13 goals, 16 goals, and not too many people score goals over in Russia. So he was he always wanted to be more than just a fighter, remembered than more than just a fighter. And I think that's what he really did well though. He was a scorer. He had soft hands for a big boy. So he was one of my favorites. So rest in peace. And I just he's starting his journey in the spirit world.
Yeah.
So we just send our condolences. Last week we didn't have a show. I was in Markham, Ontario, which is just outside north of Toronto for the what is that, Little Native Hockey League tournament, which is a minor tournament from U7s all the way up to U18. Excuse me, drinking all this water is making me burp.
Oh, are you drinking the carbonated water?
No, I'm just
Ah.
drinking poor man water, Bush. Sorry. But yeah, I was in Mississauga. My grandson SJ played on the U19 for Taquatagamo Nation Tomahawk, so we decided to go watch him and support him, and
Yeah.
it was very good. I had a lot of nieces and nephews playing as well, so I was able to watch them because I don't get to see them play throughout the year. So I got to visit my sisters, my brother, my mom was there,
Mhm.
and a lot of family, a lot of cousins, and a lot of good friends. So it's like a family gathering going to a little NHL, and it was really fun. Here in Kenora, SJ, who plays U9, they never played full ice before. For some
No?
reason, the coaches and the conveners for that league decided to keep the U9s playing half ice and not positional. So SJ had to adapt playing full ice and playing position hockey like right away. But I had to teach him offsides while going like while at the airport.
Oh, wow.
It's just, and with Hockey Canada, U9s were supposed to play full ice starting in January, but for some reason Kenora didn't follow what Hockey
Get the
Canada.
memo?
Yeah, so but he did really good, and it was a lot of players, man, a lot of teams. I think it was like 220 teams,
Oh, wow.
and like from U7 all the way to U18, boys and girls. Uh, some crazy parents, like parents standing along the boards
Yeah.
when there's stand. Like I would sit high in the stands, and sometimes I wouldn't even watch the kids. I'd be too busy watching the parents because they'd be banging on the glass, yelling. It's like, holy cow, guys. Yeah, you want your kids to score and play good, but I don't think I think it's a negative impact when parents yell at their kids
I think,
banging
oh,
on the
that
glass. You know what I
most
mean?
definitely is. Yeah. That's how I feel when you're yelling at me on the ice. And I'm in my 40s.
50s.
But hey, 40s.
Yeah, I won't yell at you no more, Bush. I'm sorry. But
But no,
just to,
I get what you're saying, man. You hear these crazy parents amped up that because they're gonna play in the show next year when they're only 9 years old. Like, come on, guys.
And the thing is, like, there's some parents who, like, on social media and stuff, like, oh, my kid scored 15 goals this week at Little NHL. I was like, who cares? Like, I don't know. It bugs me when parents post their kids' stats when they're 9, 10, 11 years old. I was
Yeah.
like, there's no need for that. I mean, there's other kids who aren't as good, and
Mhm.
you're making the parents feel bad. Like, I'm against parents posting their kids' stats. I mean, just who cares about their stats? They're kids, let them have fun. And when parents do that, their kids will see what they're doing, and they'll start saying things at school. Oh, I scored 15 goals today. How much
Yeah.
goals did you score? It's like, kids pick up from their parents. So, like, parents, relax, let them have fun. Little NHL is about having fun and showing respect. And then you're not doing it. You're not showing a good example when you're
No.
posting their stats and saying, "Oh, my kid did this," and how much goals did your kid score? It's like, who gives a shit? I mean, that kind of annoyed me when that happened. And parents got to relax. I'm drinking iced tea, by the way. This is not any alcohol beverage. It might look like it, but it's iced tea. Just kidding. Just a really awful face. What else about Little NHL? Oh, the rinks. Uh, they had rinks in Stoyville, Markham, Vaughan, Richmond Hill, like 4 cities. And for U9s, our hotel, the SJ's Arena, was 40 kilometers away.
Oh,
40 kilometers away. Like, holy jeez.
gee,
We had to
holy.
leave like a good half hour, like an hour and a half before his game just to make it. And like the travel was crazy. You know, the 407 people in Ontario, it's a paid highway. You have to pay a toll to go on that highway.
Yeah.
So we went on it just because it was faster to go through the town, the city roads, so city streets. So we'd go on that highway, and that it was like $20 each time we went on that highway. For 20 kilometers, it was like $20. So it's like $1 a kilometer. Like, and they were a sponsor of the Little NHL,
Oh,
that Highway 407. Like, how can you guys spawn? What I think they just sponsored the Little NHL. It's like, here's like $2,000 in medals and stuff like
yeah.
that. But while they're donating $2,000 in medals, they're making $50,000 from all the parents going on that 407.
Yeah.
But we couldn't go around it though. We had to go on that 407 because a lot of the Toronto people or north of Toronto people, they would take that Highway 7, and that was too busy. Like, there was long traffic lines. So we had nothing else to do but go on that highway, and that's where we got screwed. So damn it. Whew. We went to a lot of U18 games, competitive. It was really good hockey. You got junior players, like midget AAA players, and unfortunately, there's some of them, when you know how you're full of piss and vinegar, you're pissed off
Yeah.
and you're losing. There were some fights that happened at the end, and like Moose Cree lost in the semis, and they got mad. They almost started fighting the other team. And the other team knew that was going to happen, right? Everyone knows when
Yeah.
you're playing in the semis of a big tournament and the other team is losing, they're going to come after you. They're going to want to fight you, and they're pissed off and try to suck you and getting suspended for the next game. But yeah, Moose Creed did that, and every team does that. I've done it. But yeah, what else about Little NHL? Fighting a lot of good talent. Holy shit. Kids are so good. The boys and girls hockey, that's something that we should be proud of. The
Yeah.
parents and coaches should be proud of, is just the amount of talent for the First Nation players out there. Like, kids were doing like the Michigan, like 10-year-old kids doing the
Oh.
Michigan. Like, I can't even think of doing a Michigan right now. But you get these young kids doing these really nice moves. Like I was really surprised. It's like shit, I can't even think of that, and I'm friggin' old. What I think it comes down to is like they have YouTube and they have like the NHL 24 now on Xbox and PlayStation where it's almost like a real game. Like the graphics are so real, right?
Yeah.
Like when we grew up, we had a Nintendo and we had Blades of Steel.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and that's not nothing real. And the kids have YouTube, so kids can go on YouTube and just watch tutorials or watch Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, McDavid highlights and
Yeah.
copy. All we had was Rock'em Sock'em back in the day. But yeah, overall NHL was really good though. I think I would like for us to go down there next year and just be a part of it. That's maybe something that we could work towards and something because they didn't really have no social media presence. They didn't have anyone like doing interviews and stuff like that. It'd be something cool. Maybe we gotta look into doing that and just try to be a part. Oh yeah, my flight home.
I
Okay.
was waiting for you.
Okay, our flight was 8 in the morning. So we left our hotel in Vaughan. It was a half-hour drive to the airport. So we were driving down, and all of a sudden, I saw red on my maps on my phone, which means an accident. So there was an accident on the 401 and the 400 on the highway that we were on. They closed that highway for like a 3 kilometer stretch. So I was like, oh shit, what do I do now? So I had to get off the highway and go through all these roads to go to the airport because I had to take when you go to Toronto International Airport, Pearson, there's a there's two different areas of the airport, and uh, Terminal 1 and Terminal 3. I had to drop my vehicle off in Terminal 3 at Enterprise, and catch a train at Terminal 1.
Oh.
So I had to drop everyone off at Terminal 1, drive to Terminal 3, catch a train back. Then we had to put our luggage through WestJet, and you do it yourself once you get your bag tags.
Yeah.
And I tried to go through security after checking our bags, and I couldn't get through security because I couldn't find my boarding pass. I looked on the WestJet app, I looked through my Apple Wallet, but no luck. I couldn't find it anywhere to download it again. So I ended up missing my flight.
Oh.
So I was, and my return flight was like $100, but I had to rebook a flight. Excuse me. We booked my flight for 5 o'clock that evening, and it cost like $650.
Oh,
So I was pretty mad at WestJet.
I guess.
But like, how can you not find like their app was messed? And I tried to call WestJet customer service, and they said it was my fault. It's like, how's it my fault? It's your
Of
app.
course it was.
But I was able to spend time. My mom was in Toronto for work, so she was able to come pick me up. And we spent some time together. We went to lunch, so I was able to spend some time with my mom. So it was a blessing in disguise, I guess. So, but yeah, WestJet. I don't want to talk bad about WestJet because I fly WestJet in a couple of weeks. I love you, WestJet. I love you. You guys are the best.
In a
But
couple weeks, where are you going in a couple weeks?
Vegas, man.
I know.
Sin City. But yeah, overall, if your child has an opportunity to play in a little NHL, if you're from Ontario, take advantage of it. Let them go have lots of fun. You meet a lot of new people from surrounding First Nations in Ontario. So the only thing I didn't like about Little NHL is just how the arenas were all over the 4 different cities. That's a lot of travel. And so you had to plan like way ahead to be able to travel. Whoo!
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I need a break now.
Okay.
My throat's sore. That's why I'm drinking this iced tea, just
Okay.
to get some sugar.
Is it actual iced tea or Nestea iced tea?
Nasty. I don't like
Yeah.
American iced
I
tea.
know.
Like, for those who go to the US and you go to like a McDonald's and like, yeah, can I get an iced tea, please? It's like cold tea.
Yeah. It's literal
Yeah, literally
sense.
cold tea. But yeah, I'm done with my. It's not a rant. It's a good. It's good. So yeah, Little NHL was a lot of fun, and congratulations to all the winners, and congratulations to all the parents for keeping sane and not going crazy and want to strangle your kids. Because I'm sure I feel bad for the parents who have more than one kid playing in that tournament because it's a lot of running around at different arenas. Like one arena can be 40 kilometers away and your kid plays at somewhere else at the same time. And it happened to my brother. Like my nephew Aiden played with SJ at 11 o'clock with 40 kilometers away from our hotel, while my other nephew Phelan played at the same time at a different rink. So my brother had to go watch his other son Phelan play. So,
Oh.
and he missed out on Aiden's games because it was that at the same time, and that's a shitty part of being a hockey parent. So, whew,
Yeah.
yeah, 1-0 still,
2-0, you mean?
2-0. Yeah.
Adam Henrique. Henrique.
I don't even know who's in Montreal's net. I never heard of him. Monchesol,
Marchessault? Just kidding.
Modembo. How come every time the Oilers score on Sportsnet, they gotta nothing? I don't have nothing against Superfan Magoo. I'm sure I don't know him personally. I'm sure he's a really super nice guy, but how come they always show him when
I
they
know.
like you gotta do that to you, Superfan Bush? You gotta get a drum and paint the Oilers colors and just paint your face. Oh, you should paint your face like Ultimate Warrior style, but just Edmonton
Oh yeah,
colors.
just
That'd be
yeah.
pretty cool. Or like the Demolition. Remember that tag team from the 90s, 80s, 90s? Demolition Men, I think they were called.
Were you
No?
talking about the Road Warriors?
Or them too, yeah. Legion
Yeah.
of Doom.
Yeah, Legion of Doom Hawk and Animal.
You should shave your head like that on top of your
Oh,
head.
the two Mohawks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'm gonna grow the hockey hair out soon. So
Maybe
the flow.
maybe next tournament we go to and you're sleeping and maybe I'll shave your head. Would
That
you
would
be
not
mad
be.
if I did that?
Yeah, actually I would.
Only be mad for a while. Maybe I'll bring clippers now.
Holy crap.
Now let's go to our interview with
Okay,
Mr.
Robert.
Robert Cardinal. Let's go. Rez Hockey would like to introduce you our guest for this week, episode 108. He is from Enoch, Cree Nation, and lives in Edmonton, Alberta. He unfortunately is an Edmonton's Oilers fan, so I'll take it easy on him on that part. But Rez Hockey would like to introduce you, Mr. Robert Cardinal. Welcome to the show, man.
Dante, boy, suck. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Good.
Unfortunately, the Leafs just scored, so we're still down 3-1. But other than that, it's doing good. No, I was gonna say the first day of spring, but that's on the 21st, right?
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's still pretty cold out here. How's the weather out in Alberta? Is it cold over there still?
I think it was like -2 today. Yesterday was like plus 15. So
Oh, jeez. The big drop.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get started. How did you get started in hockey?
For me, I guess from an early age in Enoch, they developed me basically just by we had our own what do you call we played against other communities in and around us. Spruce Grove, Edmonton, kind of got thrown into the deep end. We had a few people that were playing, played together, and then all of a sudden, right at about Pee Wee, I just got shipped off by my dad. My dad was like, "You're going to Grand Prairie." I was like, "What the heck?" I went up there. I stayed with a family, Cliff Cunningham. I played Pee Wee, Triple A Pee Wee. And I came back. I came back that summer, and I remember my dad telling me, he's like, things were progressing really fast, and I was getting better. And so he took me out to a tournament in Saskatoon. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Gemini 4 Arenas. They had a big native tournament there for younger kids. He took me out there to play with a couple of guys from Sturgeon Lake and some communities in Alberta. And St. Michael's College, I guess, was just starting up there, residential school. They seen me play once, and they asked me to come out and play. And that was in Pee Wee. And from there, I went right into St. Michael's, and I was there for 5 years.
Oh wow.
Started the AAA program there. Not me personally, but I was in that AAA program for the midgets. And we started the program there. And directly from St. Michael's, that's when I went right to LeBret.
Okay.
I can remember, oh man, I can remember, I don't know if you guys know Charles Cashane. He's from down south, southern Saskatchewan. Oh, he's a big Indian boy. Um, he played a game up in exhibition, I think it was in Saskatoon, and we watched. That was that was my first introduction to like real native hockey, LeBret Eagles, and they're just running their show and fighting, and I was just possessed. I was like, man, that's what I want. And it took me right into LeBret that next year. Um, and that first tryout camp, holy man, I've never been so nervous in my life. Going to go try out. Um, just so many names just pop up, right? Like I think I was listening to your earlier podcasts, and there's some old wily veterans from LeBret days that were being named, right? Earl Kuwaitan, Corey Bass, just to name a few. Daryl Caldwell. Um, they all just took me in that first year. You know, didn't
Yeah.
matter if I was just full blood native. We're all brothers, and that's what I really enjoyed. But LeBret kind of started, and there were so many native communities in and around LeBret that you you didn't feel like you were away from home. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it, we don't have too many teams like that now, where the whole community comes and stands by you, and it was more uplifting. I think it was something that was for me to play in LeBret was a challenge, but at the same time, it felt like home. At the same time. So yeah, that was probably in the 90s. I started there. Um, One thing that probably the toughest series I've ever played was against Weyburn Red Wings. Came a couple of the Pelche boys
Oh yeah.
from out in Ontario, and they were playing on that team. Duke Pelche,
Yeah.
he's a beauty. That guy, D-man, smooth.
He is. He was.
Um,
Yeah. Duke. Yeah.
yeah, I played against him a couple times, and man, he really opened up my eyes towards moving the puck and getting it off my stick quickly, or else I wouldn't have no spot anywhere.
Yeah.
What were
So,
some of the? Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Go ahead, Bush.
Okay, is this? But you mentioned LeBret Eagles. What are some of the distinct memories like pop in your mind when someone says, "Hey, you played for LeBret"? Like, was it your first
Um,
goal, your first shift, your very first hit? Like,
I guess one of the things for me in LeBret was the camaraderie of the group that we had, uh, and being able to share that with the non-native guys on the team, and to really take it out to a whole new level. Like basically, we're playing on the Rez in LeBret, and how wild that barn got. I think is probably one of the most cherished memories I'll have in there. Is we probably had the lowest attendance, but we were packed every game, if that made sense. Like there was only like 4 rows up around the whole rink, and it was louder. Oh, it was loud in there. And you had everybody there, from cookums to little kids, and everybody yelling in between. And I think that's probably one of the best memories, because I've played in some other barns, like the Native Stanley Cup, and wasn't as loud, or didn't seem as loud.
The SJ was known back in like in the 80s and 90s as being the toughest league in junior league in Canada. What was the craziest fight that you witnessed that comes to mind?
Oh man, there's a few of them. One of my teammates, rest in peace, John Hewitt. He was kind of a crazy guy. He'd go out there, and he was from southern Manitoba. Um, but I remember we are playing against Notre Dame, Notre Dame in playoffs, and I'm still very young, and all these older guys are still in that era of like toughness, like one hack, that's it, we're going, or one chirp or whatever. And they were fighting. Well, during this playoff round, I don't know if you know Delorme. He was playing for Notre Dame at the time. John Hewitt went out, and I can't remember exactly who he fought. And I think we're playing against, if I don't get this right, it was Vinny Clavier, that group, Brad
Okay, yeah,
Richards.
yeah.
I think it was that year. And John Hewitt just got into a fight with some guy on their team, and it was equipment everywhere. And I turned to look. I was watching that fight, and I look over, and Delorme is going to fight one of our D-men. And so I start watching that one. I was like, holy crap. And these guys are just teeing off on one another. It was no jerseying. It was just holding straight out, and just give everything you possibly can, right? So I'm looking at that one, and all of a sudden I look over, and then another one breaks out, and it's Corey Bass. And I'm like, what is happening here? And it was from, when you get in there, and nowadays you have one person, and one little instigator gets in there, puts a hand in there or
Yeah.
something. That's how it started, the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and then the whole line was scrapping during that playoff series. And it was just wild. It was a memory that stuck with me, because it was like, they will have your back through anything, even if
Yeah.
somebody's face washing you.
Yeah, LeBret was owned by First Nations. Did you guys, was there a lot of racism towards the team from like opposing players and teams and like the other communities towards the Eagles?
Unfortunately, yes. Kind of anywhere I played growing up. Like I said, I went through Grand Prairie, and then St. Michael's and LeBret. Um, but there was a lot of racism, um, inadvertently, through the players and the fans. You go to some barns, and it's, how would you put it? Well, let's say you guys are showing up to my barn, and there's no heat. Dressing rooms is cold, or sorry, dressing room's cold, not clean. Things like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you go to these places, and you're like, come on, this is SJHL, right? Like you get in there, and it's just messy. It's cold. They have no hot water, and you can just tell these places kind of did this on purpose towards us. Uh, and we just kind of got used to it, like to a point where we're not going to change their minds yelling and fighting them off the ice. We're going to kick the crap out of them on the ice and scoreboard, and they're going to realize that it was LeBret that came into town.
After your last season in LeBret, you played 6 games with the Winston-Salem of the United League. How was the stint with the Ice Hawks?
It was really brief, because then we moved and everything like that. But I went down with my good friend Bill Cameron, and I was scared shitless. If any First Nation kid could tell you, hey, you're leaving home, you're leaving the country, scared shitless. Um, Remember getting there, and all of a sudden I was dressing up, and right across the room, I could still picture this. I could see another little Indian guy. I was like, "Are you?" And I was looking over, and there's Eldon Chichu from Moose Factory, and he's sitting there, and he's got his game face on, and I'm like, and all of a sudden we're getting in there, and all of a sudden he starts smiling, and I was like, "Oh, another Nietzsche boy in the dressing room," and I just totally was relaxed after that. Felt calm.
What about did you play with Dean Roach in Winston-Salem?
Yep, we played Dean Roach. The other one that I also was against was Brent Gretzky.
Oh
I played
yeah.
against him. There was a couple of other native boys that were playing in the league at the time. Um, there was some really good talent back then. Um, but I had a really brief stint, and I guess the one thing that I would probably say to anybody that was going to play pro back then was you had to have really tough skin, right? Like to every every team that all those players are coming to one team have different cultures and they all coming into one. And that was probably the hardest thing for me to get used to. Like you have some French guys, you have some American guys, you have somebody from Europe coming in, native guys, and that melting pot is hard to get used to. Um, and just immersing yourself in there and actually talking with people. I think a lot of kids that leave home are afraid and just, hey, I'm just gonna. It's actually having a conversation and talking. Turn to the guy to the left of you and ask him what he's about and his name. And I think that's probably the biggest thing out of those games I played was to take it all in and really just immerse myself in every aspect of it.
Yeah, Dean's is a Moose Factory boy too, and he played in LeBret before you did. I think he was like one of the original, the OG Eagles. Did you guys ever discuss any LeBret stories?
Yeah, we did. There's a couple of them that I can't name or go through on here. But some of them were with a good friend of mine, Alfie Mashad. He
Oh
played
yeah.
earlier before then. And some of those stories will live between the boys in the dressing room. I guess we'll leave it at that.
What about Mr. Ronnie Francis? How was Ronnie back in the day?
Oh man, Eh, I he got traded from Kindersley over to LeBret, and he came in and or no, sorry, I think it was Melville.
I think it was
Kindersley, Melville, I
Kindersley,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, and he came over and he had his first game and the same kind of thing. He showed up and he had his twigs and he had his own style and things like that. And I remember it was one of his first games, and you're trying to figure out who this guy is and whatnot, and all of a sudden it was a game, and I can't remember where it was on the ice now, but all of a sudden I remember him getting hit, not terribly hard, but getting hit, and he got really angry. You could see it, and holy, I was like, this guy's probably about $160 back then, soaking wet. But he took a run at this, I think it was a D man. It was a bigger guy anyway. And he laid him right out. And I think it was then where it was like, okay, all right, you're fitting in here. You're in.
After that season, you played a few years with Concordia and Augustana. Was that the plan to go to school after junior?
Yeah, I had a brief stint. I went overseas really quick too, just to finish up, just to test the waters. It's like Div 2, but I came back to go to school uh, in Concordia and Augustana. Mainly influence was Ryan Trache and late Marty Chief. They're from Minnesota, northern Saskatchewan. I kind of went and um, played hockey there, started out. Um, I, I guess from there, that point was really trying to figure out the educational side to play and get good grades. And that was the hardest battle to ever get in my life back then. Hockey was second, and it really kind of it's a different learning experience. If anybody's ever went to college or to play it, you gotta, hit the books and the ice just as hard.
You're wearing Boise State sweater.
Yeah,
You attended Boise State. How important was education to you now?
education. I guess biggest influence, I guess, is my old man. I'm junior. Bob senior, Bob Cardinal. He's been a big influence on my life, especially when I went to Grand Prairie, when I went to Saskatchewan, played semi-pro. He kind of guided me with a lot of those decisions. And the other one was education. I remember before I even left and I went down to Boise State, my dad told me, he said, no one will ever be able to take that away from you, your degree. And I just kind of keep that in the back of my mind when I
Yeah.
when I went down there. Um, had 4 years down there. Um, I was like the only native kid on that team. Um, it was a great experience. It was kind of I guess it was like an adult team when I first started, kind of incorporated with the school,
Yeah.
and with the help of many of the boosters that are still there, um, we turned it more legit with just student athletes, and developed it from kind of where I started to an actual collegiate. We play in the ACHA Division II
Okay.
league, and they're still going. They're growing. If anybody wants to check it out, BoiseStateHockeyClub.com have our own website. Play some games out of the university. Um, every once in a while, they have a couple native kids from Canada applying down there. There's one gentleman just now from Nunavut. He called me. He's planning to take a trip down to Boise, go play.
Oh, that's
Um,
neat.
so it's a really unique place to play. It's beautiful. It's classified as a desert, but it's beautiful overall. We play in the same barn as the Steelheads,
Okay. Yeah.
ECHA. So it's right in the middle of downtown. Um, the the people are excellent. I mean, man, uh, eh, the booster club that's there is just immersed in a development of everybody. And leaving that school was hard. I think that's probably one of the hardest things to be able to leave hockey was Boise State. It was really really difficult for me in general.
Rez tourneys. You played for the
Oh,
Redskins Hockey Club, which was organized by your uncle Don Burnstick. How was it playing for
hmm
your uncle Don?
oh man. I got to get this story out of the way first, right at the beginning. Is all my Redskin brothers out there, sorry, I got lots. My stories are just like crazy over the top, and I'll share the ones that I can and some of them that I can't. But anyway, I'll tell you kind of how it started. You know, um, in between there, between the years of schooling, my dad had a job for me during the winter up north. I was cutting diamonds, sent me up there, and it was in the middle. I was only up there for a couple months, and out of nowhere, Don Burnstick gives me a call. And the people that I was living with up there is like, and they're DNA people. They love to laugh and everything, and they're just like, Don Burnstick's on the phone for you. And I'm just like, no, that's not right, eh? And then I picked it up, and there he is on the phone, right? And he's asked me to come down and play in a tournament. Come help him with a team that's playing in around Edmonton. So I came down, we played. There's only a couple, I don't want to say decent, just didn't play well, I guess. And we got our ass handed to us, and that was kind of the beginning of Don started asking me, hey, I want to put um some tournaments together so we can go play. And that was the very beginning of how the Redskins kind of developed and started. And he started asking me about all the players I played with, and I started diving into all my contacts, everything I had, that buddies, and as you notice, everybody just kind of divides into Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, and we've all kind of played the circuit. And one thing led to another, and I just, we started to develop a team that got ready for the Redskins in 2005, 2006 years.
Who were some of the best players you played with and against in the res tourney circuit?
Oh man, Joey Potskin, you know, RIP.
Yeah.
Another one, late Jerry Cunningham. I grew up with him, played with him in LeBret too. He was awesome, awesome hockey player. There's kind of those sneaky players in Saskatchewan, those underrated players that come out of nowhere and have championships on all their fingers, like I have like Tyson Watney,
Oh, yeah.
his bro Drew Rose. It's like those guys like out of nowhere, right? Billy Cameron, Ashley Cameron, um, Monster Derek Watson, couple of those guys, Ron Francis, his brother, Ray Francis. Uh, eh, those are just to name a few, like that I've played with. Um, the Roulette Brothers. I'm sure you guys heard of Roulette Brothers. Those
Yeah.
guys are beauties. Those
They
guys
are,
are
yeah.
just they're just like the Hansons. They show up in three, and you're just like, who the hell are these guys? They get on the ice and they just tear it up.
Yeah.
You know, I also have a couple goalies too, like Steve Wagner. I've never played net, but man, he shut the door down for us and saved some tournaments. Um, Another one that's just kind of, I don't know if you guys ever heard about him, is we call him Muckachis, big ears kind of thing from younger days. Craig, he's from Alexander. He came out as, man, he had to have been about $140 just to look at him. You're just like, what? And he came out one time, and Don brought him out, and he ended up fighting like this toughest guy on the other team. And in the back of my mind, I'm going, oh man, oh no, like yikes. Only to find out that Makachis can fight with and hit with both hands. So either side, and we were just surprised. And he just ended up being a very underrated fighter that I don't think anybody really took serious. He's fought everybody from Jason Morasti to what was his name on the Prince George Lumber Kings? Really big guy. He just fought like everybody you can possibly imagine. Rob Boyson, like the list goes on, and you're just like, what is this guy like? You wouldn't pick him if you looked at him.
What's your favorite tourney to play in?
Was the Indian Stanley Cup. North Battleford. I mean, growing up, that's where I kind of watched a little bit. I heard some stories back in the day, the Lumber Kings, the Raiders, the Border Kings. Um, I mean, Dog Lake Raiders. Those are some of the teams growing up where you're like, holy shit, these guys are flying, right? And those are the years of the Cooperalls flying around the ice until 2005, 2006, and came in there with our Redskin team that was developing. We were just growing. That's my favorite tournament ever. 2005. We had a really, really good run with everybody that was there. We won that year, but the hardest one was, I think, the following year where we had lost our first game. I think we lost to Palmaker, and we got dropped right down. We ended up playing, I don't know, it's got to be about 6 games after that. And I think like maybe 4 or 5 of them were on Sunday. And that was probably the best win I had in on all of hockey. Everybody had to pull together to win that one.
Do you still play Rez tourneys?
No, I probably haven't played in about 5 years or so. More work now.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is not having an injury anymore, playing, getting older. There's there's one moment though that I need to share because my buddy Ryan Badger from Alberta here. It was a tournament in Prince George. Prince George, when we won against the big team up there. We went up there first time and we took the tournament. We had Ted Nolan coaching us. We had this team. We went in. We were firing on all cylinders. We were playing really, really well. I remember put the team together. So I'd go check on these guys every night. Hey, everybody's in here. It's like herding cats, right? Hey, you're in, you're in. And I had this one roommate. His name's Ryan Badger. He was rooming with me, and I wasn't drinking then, and we weren't. The guys weren't drinking hardcore. We're adults. Basically, I'd just tell them, hey guys, we're here to play and
Yeah.
have a few beers, and on Sunday party all you want. And I'd go kind of check to see everybody was in and things like that. But I remember my roommate, Ryan Badger, wasn't in my room, and it was getting to be late. It was getting up there around midnight. I was like, where the heck is this guy? All right, go knocking around, knock on the door, and I go to one room, and it was the Saskatchewan boys' room. Go in there, and he's in there, and he's having a wobbly pop, right? And I'm like, yeah, we're playing tomorrow. Bus is leaving at 11. And I told him, I said, don't you dare pass out in this room, right? We can't trust these Saskatchewan boys. And he's like, oh, I won't. He's like, oh, don't worry about me, Cards. I was like, okay, I'm just giving you warning. So I went back to the room, went to sleep, wake up. I'm sitting down there at the bus with Ted Nolan, and we're having coffee, just waiting for guys to get on the bus. And we're like, oh man, the bus is leaving. It's almost 11 here. And he comes out, and I don't have a hat with me, but his hat was like covering sideways like this. And he was sitting there, and he had his head down, and he put his equipment in there, and he came in and he sat down, and we're looking, we're like, what the hell's the matter with you? And he had his hat over, and he lifted it up, and his whole eyebrow was shaved off. He had his hat down, and I remember Ted Nolan looked over him, and he's like, what the hell happened? And he lifted it up, and he's like, oh, I told Ted Nolan with a straight face, he's like, I'm going to be more aerodynamic today. Serious. And I was like, oh man, that's why you don't trust those boys from Saskatchewan. Don't pass out in their room.
Unfortunately, you're an Oilers fan. Will they win the cup this year, or will they choke?
It's such a tough one for me because 10 years of just straight pain. Because I know
Yes.
Bush, I know pain
Pain.
and suffering over here. For me, it's on my own personal side of things, and And I guess that's how I've always looked at hockey teams, is from the goalie, defense, and then forwards. If I look at it that way for the Oilers, yikes. Sorry, I'm very just I'm partial to that. Uh I don't have no trust in that goalie defensive tandem to go deep into the playoffs. The forwards, yeah, like man,
Oh yeah.
those three lines can score on anybody, but the D and the forwards, sorry to say, Oilers country, yikes. They got a little hill to climb.
I love hearing that. That just makes me smile.
There was one more story. I think you had Sean Billy, one of my good
Yeah,
friends,
yeah.
on. He told me a story. He quickly went over it when he was in Winnipeg. I just happened to go out there. I needed to get my skate sharpened. So I got my skate sharpened in Winnipeg, and I had to go test them out just to, get them ready for the tournament. Uh, it's like you don't want to go to the tournament and have them all, not working correctly. So I went out there, and all of a sudden I seen this native guy, and he's kind of shooting around. All of a sudden I go up and talk to him a little bit. I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And after I told him I was captain of the Redskins, and I start giving him passes and stuff. Holy man, this kid's just flying, doing C cuts, stops and starts. I was like, what the heck is this guy doing? You could just tell in the back of my mind he was trying out real hard. And I was like, man, if you can give it all in just a little skate like this, I was like, imagine what a game can do. And I invited him, and next thing was history. And we've been best friends ever since.
That's awesome.
Do you have any advice for young players?
For young players, is man, everybody's gonna get older. You're gonna regret things when you get older. Live in the moment. Take the opportunities to follow what you want. If it's hockey, hockey. If it's school, school. Um, you only have one life, and for you to make that choice is your own. But everybody's gonna get older, and they're gonna have regrets when they get older. So try not to, I guess, limit your regrets when you get older.
Yes, exactly. Before we let you go, we'll finish our interview with the infamous 5 rapid niche questions. You
Uh-oh.
ready?
Yeah.
Question number 1: baked or fried bannock?
Oh, baked. For sure,
Exactly.
baked.
I think of all the guys that we had and girls that we had on the show, only 25% of our guests like baked bannock. I don't understand that.
Oh, I have no clue. I grew up on baked bannock all
Same
the time,
here. Yeah.
and it been passed down to me. I'm not saying my bannock is the best, but I can make myself a mean bannock.
I can't make bannock worth crap, you know. I went to culinary school, I went to like my red seal and whatnot. Like I still can't bake bannock for the good for me. Like I suck at it still.
Oh, I got Cookham's recipe stashed away, so
uh Question number 2: ever use a bed sheet for a door or curtain?
yeah. I remember specifically in St. Michael's when we were playing AAA. That's how we divided our rooms when we had our beds.
Question number 3: ever see Ernest Munias live in concert?
Top way. I watched him a couple times. I lived in Winnipeg, watched him in the bar and at a cabaret. I believe it was in Saskatchewan when I watched him. Man, he's everything everybody says about him is true.
Yep, exactly. Question number 4: Indian taco or bannock burger?
Holy man, this one's a tough one. Oh man, it's a tough one. There's Bannock Burger at the Indian tournaments, and Indian taco when I go with my wife down to the Navajo Nation.
That's a good.
It's
That's
a tough one.
so we'll go 50-50 on that one.
I have to. I have to. I'll hear it from the other side.
Fifth and last question. Can you jig?
I can jig. I used to jig. My family over here, they um have family reunion. We used to jig every family reunion. So I guess it's part of the Métis side of my family.
Awesome. Cards, thanks for coming on the show and telling us some stories and sharing some laughs with us, man. We really appreciate it.
For sure. Again, thank you for everything, guys. Your guys' podcast is awesome, and it helping me look at all the other native talent out there and actually having a different outlook. And man, I just brushed the surface with the stories here that I have. The only other thing I want to say is, I guess what paved the way is like Garth Esperance, the late Donk in Alberta, just some of those guys that just paved the way
Yeah.
to see where it is right now. And then now some of the people like Connor Roulette and them are just taking off, and
Yes.
it's so beautiful to see. I just look at your guys' podcasts and I'm just like, man, there's so much talent out there.
There
This
is. Yep.
is awesome.
Thank you. And hopefully one of these times we're in Edmonton, we'll have to get together and go for supper or something like that and watch the Oilers lose.
Oh.
Oh, you know what? You come down here, Bush is gonna get the penthouse suite, and you're gonna get the other. If you guys show
Get the
up.
janitor room.
All right, boy, suck. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for all you do.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank
I
you.
will see you.
Hi.
Hi. My
Hi.
name is Borat. Yesterday I was home and I decided to watch Borat, and I was trying to find a perfect scene that I could record and send it to Bush, because Bush is Borat. So I sent him a good 2-minute scene recorded on my phone, but that movie's hilarious. You have to wear a gray suit like that. Maybe when we go to the Freddie and May, you gotta dress up in a suit like that. Shave your beard and just have like a Borat mustache.
I don't know, maybe.
Come on. If I could grow a mustache, I would. So
All right.
yeah. I'll butcher that. Yeah, that was a freaking deadly interview with Cards.
Yeah.
We had really a lot of fun, good laughs off the air, and we came up with an idea of maybe having some alumni, some former Redskin players, along with Don Burstick, to come on the show and just talk Rez Hockey, talk the old days of the Redskin hockey team. Something be cool. Sit back and just because they were a very good team. They were probably one of the best teams in Western Canada. So be something we could possibly see down the road. So thanks, Cards, for coming on. We really appreciate it. And thanks for sharing your stories, sharing some laughs. For this week's Rez Hockey Top 5, Chris Simon moments. These are the moments that are my top 5 favorites. So I thought I'd share them with unfortunately the bad news of Chris passing away today. So I wanted to share my top 5 favorite moments, because he was one of my favorite players back in the 90s. Number 5, Chris Simon's goal he scored when he was on Quebec Nordiques. It was on Rock'em Sock'em 6.
Oh yeah.
So the play was him and Joe Sakic were on a 2-on-1 in Montreal. Joe Sakic was on his the right wing, and Chris was a left-hand shot, so he's coming down his left wing. Sakic feathers him a pass. Chris goes bar down on Patrick Waugh. So if you go YouTube and search Rock'em Sock'em 6, you'll see that nice Chris Simon goal bar down. So that was my number 5 for top 5 Chris Simon moments. Number 4, you can always watch this on YouTube as well, as the fight between Chris Simon and Ty Domi at Maple Leaf Gardens, when Chris with the Colorado Avalanche, and Ty was with the Toronto Maple Leafs. This fight was when they won the Stanley Cup back in 99 2000, and it really gave Chris the heavyweight title, because Ty Domi, as you know, was one of the best, and he was always a top contender. But Chris just kicked the crap out of Ty, and I remember Chris telling me that every time he was punching Ty's head, it was so hard, and he probably has one of the hardest heads that he of the guys that he fought while playing in the NHL. So, and that was a really good fight that Chris won and totally dominated Domi. So that was my number 4. My number 3 moment for my Rez Hockey top 5 Chris Simon moments is when he scored 29 goals in 99 2000 for Washington Capitals. I mean, not too many guys. The only other guy enforcer that I can think of that scored that much goals was Bob Probert.
Yeah.
And Bob Probert was another fan favorite of mine, one of my favorite players. And a lot of enforcers, they don't have soft hands. They don't know what to do with the puck, unfortunately, when they have the puck.
It's
But
like me.
Yeah, just like Bush. He doesn't know. That's why he ices it all the time. So to be able to score 29 goals as an enforcer, it just shows you how good of a shot he had, and how good he was around the net. So that was my number 3. My number 2 favorite moments when he got drafted by the Quebec Nordiques. He was drafted high that year. I think he went in the 2nd round. So it just shows you how much faith the Philadelphia Flyers had in him. 2nd round, 25th overall in 1990. And he was part of that Eric Lindros deal that went from Philadelphia to Quebec. So he was part of that big Eric Lindros trade. So, and my number 1 moment, my Chris Simon moment, is him winning the Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche. He was a big part of that strong Colorado team that won the cup. Imagine sitting on the bench and just watching Forsberg and Sakic in their prime.
Holy crap, that'd be good.
I mean, you got a front row seat of 2 Hall of Famers doing their thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they had a really good playoff run. So yeah, those are my personal Rez Hockey top 5 Chris Simon moments. Those 5 moments I shared, he had a really good career. So this weekend, Bush and we will be playing in the I don't know how many years. It had to be plus 30 years, right?
That this has been going on?
Yeah.
I'd say yeah.
The annual Last Chance Hockey Tournament in Dryden, Ontario.
Yeah.
It's a local tournament in Dryden where there's a 35 plus division, 45 plus division, and women's division. Are you excited to play this weekend, Bush?
I am very excited to play.
Unfortunately, Bush and I won't be playing on the same team this weekend. I'm playing with another team, and we play against each other Friday night.
Yes.
Prime time. So
You got to come to watch us.
yeah, so if you're in Dryden, the admission is $10 to watch us play. Just kidding.
Yeah. We're talking to you, Drew Walski.
Oh yeah, we got a message, Walski. I haven't seen him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But looking forward to playing the tournament. It's always a great, fun tournament. Nothing too serious. There's no prize money. We get a free T-shirt. It's just a year-end tournament for old timers, just to sit around with the good old boys and just have a couple cold pops for not me, but those other guys.
It's the good old boys.
So yeah, it's a fun tournament. I really enjoy it.
That's the only part of the intro I know.
Yeah. What song
What
show is that from again?
It's Dukes of Hazzard.
Dude, yeah.
It's them good old boys.
Is that Waylon Jennings?
I don't know, country
I
guys.
think so. Oh, come on. You gotta know
I
Waylon
don't
Jennings.
know. I did.
But yeah, we'll be in Dryden. So if you're in the Dryden area, come say hi and come see Bush get dangled.
Yep. Twice.
So
In
yeah.
one shift.
What do you want to do a prediction of who's gonna win Friday night?
Shift for shift. I don't
Final
know.
score, man.
I think we'll take. I think we'll take it down. Who's in your? Who's in that?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure.
Do you remember the one year Chris Medicine played with them?
Uh,
We peppered them. Probably
yeah,
50 shots.
50 shots. I had like 3 breakaways I couldn't score.
Yeah.
I say we will win 7-2. 7-2. I'm going with 7-2.
Okay. I think we'll win 4-3.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going 7-3. Bush being a minus 5. So Bush is going to have a hard game.
Yeah.
So, and Friday night we will post the score of our game
Yes.
to see who's closer.
Maybe some post game interviews. You never know.
Maybe might go live. I want to see Bush cry. So, but yeah, this is an annual tournament we've been playing for a number of years. It's always fun.
Mhm.
It's a tournament where the refs will joke around with you and laugh, and you
Yeah.
laugh with the refs. So it's looking forward to it, and it's gonna be fun. I know like it's sometimes it's hard playing in tournaments where there's no cash prize, but this it's different. I mean, guys are not
Yeah.
as competitive and nothing too serious. But I did get kicked out of that a game one time.
Your
This-
first shift of the Sunday.
my first shift in the semifinals, I think I got called for body check and I just angled the guy off and the guy had
Yeah.
nowhere to go but to skate into the boards. And the ref gave me a boarding penalty and I kind of flipped out and tried to go after the ref. Then the other opposing team says something to me. Then I tried to go after the team. So, and I got kicked out of that game. So, hey, good times. It's all for fun.
Yeah.
What else? Israel Mianscum.
Yes.
It was posted that Israel, who plays for the Sherbrooke Phoenix at the Quebec Major Junior League, was offered a contract by the New Jersey Devils, and he turned it down. He was offered a 2-way contract for the AHL and ECHL, but it's not what he's looking for. He wants an entry level contract in NHL, which a lot of draft picks get, right? So
Yeah.
he currently sits 4th in the league score with 84 points. Is that a smart move or a dumb move?
I think it's a dumb move.
Are we allowed to say that word? What other word can we come? That sounds like we can't say.
I don't
that
think
word.
he thought it out too clearly.
I'm gonna Google that. What's another word for
Dumb?
the D word? I don't know. Can we say that?
The sort. Yes. We can say dumb.
Can we say dumb?
Yes.
I just don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to offend you.
You do.
Are you offended?
No, I'm not.
Do you need a hug?
I think it's a dumb move. I'll say it out loud.
What I just said or what he just did?
What he just did.
Or both? Yeah,
D-U-M-B. Yeah, dumb.
with a capital U.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, for starters, he can play junior. He's proven that, but what else can he play?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, this is his last year junior, so he has. I think pros is only option unless he goes to U Sports, but I don't think that's really an option. But I think I talked to a current agent, and he represents a lot of Indigenous players, and he disagrees as well with Israel and his camp denying that contract offer.
Yeah.
I think the way he said is that Israel should accept this contract, prove to New Jersey that he can play at that level and earn a bigger contract after this one's finished, right?
Mhm.
You just gotta, if you want to play pro hockey, you gotta prove that you can play with the big boys, right?
Yeah.
So, especially being a 20-year-old too, right? So, I don't know if he kind of burnt the bridge. Do you think he burnt the bridge saying no?
I think he definitely put himself under the spotlight for the wrong reasons. That's for sure.
So, yeah, well, it's going to be interesting. Last year he went to the Detroit Red Wings prospect camp, and I think he went to the Montreal Canadiens camp too. So it's not like he gets a lot of interest, that's for sure.
Mhm.
But I mean, maybe like who knows? That might be just his only offer. Like, what's going to happen if he gets no other offers? Go back to New Jersey and it's like,
Mhm.
can I get that same deal, please? And I'm sure they'll say no.
Mhm.
Once you say no to a deal, that's pretty much it for you. So
Yeah.
should be interesting. I think he won't get a deal till after the NHL draft now because I don't think too many teams are going to be calling his name, calling his agent,
Yeah.
asking for a contract. So we'll see how that goes, and we wish Israel all the best and Sherbrooke still. So, but yeah, I mean, if someone offered me a contract coming out of junior, an AHL, ECHL contract, I'd be all over it, man. You got a good like they want you, so you might as well take
Yeah.
advantage of it. But I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Might be a smart move, might be a D word move.
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel for some reason I feel guilty for saying dumb.
Yes.
So, but yeah, we'll see where he ends up. He's a good kid. He's a good scorer if he's fourth
Yeah.
in league scoring. So, oh yeah, we forgot to do shoutouts. Do you have any
Yeah.
shoutouts for episode 108?
No shout outs today.
No.
Maybe next week I'll have some.
I just want to give a shout out to the Round Lake Bears. Round Lake Bears had a successful year playing. Well, unfortunately, they didn't make it all the way to the senior provincials in Saskatchewan, but they had a good. I mean, turnout wise, fan wise,
Mhm.
and player wise, they picked up a lot of good players. In OCHAP, and the fan base was unreal. They they sold out every game they every home game. So congrats on Round Lake Bears on a good senior season. Uh, Winston Bear was the one who put the team together. So congrats and good job, Winston, on putting the team together. And it's good to see a lot of Indigenous reserve teams playing in the senior circuit. I know there's a Willow Cree in Saskatchewan as well was another one that played in the senior circuit in Saskatchewan, but it must be tough. I mean, you're playing a lot of, just like Card said in our interview, you're going to a lot of these small Saskatchewan towns, and then where unfortunately racism will play a factor because it's a part of the game, unfortunately. And you're playing this in Saskatchewan where there's a lot of small towns, but the hockey must be good because Round Lake had a really stacked team. And I was looking at the scores. Game one, Round Lake won over Lumsden Monarchs, the best out of three, 6-4. Game two, the Monarchs beat Round Lake 11-2.
Oh,
And game
yeah.
three, Monarchs beat Round Lake 7-2. So um just shows you how good senior hockey is in Saskatchewan if
Yeah.
the Monarchs can beat a stacked team like Round Lake. So but now Round Lake will get ready for the Rez tourney circuits. There's a lot of tourneys happening in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. So I think they'll be in Winnipeg next Easter weekend. So maybe go watch them play. I like them because they dress up like they have shells, they have red gloves,
That's
everyone
cool.
wears red helmets, so they match. I mean,
Yeah.
look like a team, look good, play good.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll see Round Lake at the Freddy's in other tournaments, the Brent Wilson Memorial. I think they're going to. So big game Saturday.
Big
You
game.
being a Leafs fan and me being a Leafs fan, you being an Oilers fan. Sorry. The two teams will clash Saturday night.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Are we gonna place a bid or place a bet?
Please. Well, we'll see. We'll post it and we'll see.
Well, you don't feel like losing?
Well, I mean, we could do the jersey thing, but
We do the jersey
Yeah,
thing
no,
all the time.
right?
Let's pick it up. I mean, I don't know. What can Bush do when he loses?
yeah.
Like I'll grow. I don't know.
What can I do to collect when I win?
I'll grow a mustache, and when you lose, you gotta shave yours, and you like I have an Amish beard.
Just no way, man.
Just go, come on,
Maybe I should.
just a mustache, and just
Yeah.
and or if I lose, I'll grow a mustache. But it'll probably take me like a freaking month, 2 months to grow a mustache. I don't know. We have to think something that we haven't done
Oh.
before.
Yeah.
I know you won't eat olives.
No. Well, I
Maybe-
would, but I'll
Maybe
throw up though.
remember those small cans of olives, black olives you could buy from like Safeway or No Frills or
No.
Superstore?
No, because I never
Why?
bought olives in my life, so I don't know what you're talking
There's
about.
maybe around 20 small black olives. Just eat a can of black olives.
No.
No?
I'll throw up, man.
Maybe when you're sleeping, I'll just put an olive in your mouth and just hope you don't choke.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have to think of something. Just I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll post what can the wager be. But yeah, I don't want to wear an Oilers jersey. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it again. But yeah. Anything else before we skedaddle?
Before we skid out? No, I'm good.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us for another episode of Rez Hockey. This is episode 108. So we just we're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, iHeartRadio, and Podbean, and you can catch us on YouTube. So thanks for joining us for another episode for this week, and we will see you next week. So
Yes, we will.
we'll see how things go at the tournament, and good luck, Bush. Your team will need it. So yeah, we'll see you next week, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.